Good evening. Welcome. Let's talk root chakra. So as I stated before, our root chakra, all of our chakras for that matter, are there, whether we realize it or not. Specifically for the root chakra, though, it's always working and spinning, and it's working to keep us grounded. And the root chakra is actually the bed of our energy body, and it's considered the resting place for the kundalini, right? I'll talk about the kundalini another time, but when it comes to the root chakra, it actually is able to measure our sense of security and our physical sensations and our sense of belongings in the world. And the first chakra is actually called root or earth chakra, which is in Sanskrit, I think it's Muladhara is what it's called. And it means the root or the base support. And it represents our actual connection to earth, right? And also our incarnation in our bodies as well. And it's located down at the base of our torso, at the base of our body, and it's associated with certain parts of our physical system. Like there's several nerve structures that it's related to. Our adrenal glands, it's related to, in our sacrum, the excretion and elimination systems are all associated with our root chakra. And yes, that part back there is associated with the root chakra as well. And so when it comes to our root chakra, this is the part of our chakra systems that govern certain areas of our lives, like security, safety, feeling safe and secure, being able to take care of ourselves, a survival instinct. And very early in life, our quest for survival and security begins. Like from the moment that we enter into, even before we enter into this world, while we're still in the womb, the root chakra is being developed. And it becomes a lifelong quest that starts at the very beginning of life with the root chakra. And there are those who feel safe, no matter what happens, no matter who comes or who goes, there's this sense of safety that it's going to be all right no matter what happens. And then on the other hand, there are those that no matter how good things get, they never quite feel secure enough, or they may even consistently want to escape or leave, certain situations in life. And these tendencies and feelings derive from the root chakra, the state of the root chakra. And it is a good indication, of how secure we feel in life. And even in our physical bodies, the first chakra issues really stem from, what happens early in life many times. And sometimes it's as a result from trauma at birth, or something happens where there isn't the significant bonding that's supposed to happen in early stages in life. Or if you've ever heard of the term mother issues, right? More than likely, I feel like that is directly pointing to root chakra issues that may need to be worked through, right? And so for root chakra, issues, they can also be handed down as well. And I feel like sometimes we tend to pass on certain insecurities without even realizing that that's what we're doing. You know, there's like this unconscious thing that's happening as we're handing down certain traits and habits and patterns. But on the other hand, if you notice that you've had a pretty good sense of security and you felt safe and sheltered and your needs were always taken care of and everything went really well, you know, early in life or as you developed into adulthood, you may find that your root is actually pretty solid. And so one of the major roles of the root is to ground, right? Is to ground. And that means feeling connected to the earth, right? Feeling at ease and comfortable and authentic in your physical suit, in your physical body. And also feeling mentally present in your physical environment or your surroundings. And it's the awareness that, yeah, we live in a physical space that needs care and it needs to attention. There's the upkeep that needs to happen there, like our home and making sure the bills are paid, you know, our cars, even pets, you know, and of course our kids, you know. Being spiritual means nothing. It means zilch without being grounded. You know, without being grounded, you won't get very far. And there's, you know, no acknowledgement without the grounding of the need to tend to the importance of both tending to the spiritual and the physical existence that we're responsible for. It's understanding that there's this duality happening, both equally important. You know, it's all one and the same. And so, not literally, but it's equal in importance. And so when it comes to the root chakra, family is important, tribe is important. Both gives a sense of belonging, that sense of belonging in the world. And this includes friends, associates, those that would accompany the many different areas of life, you know. And also it taps into how you feel about your place here, where you are at this moment in time, in this space, and how you feel is reflected many times in the root chakra as well. And this is also where boundaries come into play as well, and being able to set standards for yourself, and being able to set boundaries that separate you from the group. You know, not always feeling like you have to enmesh with everything and everyone. You know, it's knowing where you end and where others begin. And so boundary issues can be a sign of root chakra work needed, or also not just boundaries, but maybe being a little bit too sharing or too open with others, and even at your own expense, you know, or even the opposite of that, being completely closed off, you know, and having this wall up and not really being able to, build genuine close connections, you know, or maybe the connections that you have never quite really developed, you know, because there's this closed offness. And so Another area that really sticks out is finances. How finances are handled, how money is managed is tied to the root chakra as well. How we feel about the resources that we have, whether we see it in a scarcity or in abundance, is directly tied to our feeling safe and secure. And I guess, this isn't as easy as just awakening, the first chakra, the root chakra, but it is empowering to look around at, some of the habits and the attitudes around money and resources in that way. And possibly even in a way that helps us to understand what was actually some of the habits that were handed down, some of the attitudes around money that was, part of the conditioning of the environment that we grew up in. It's almost like this inherited mentality, as it pertains to money. But I feel like it's awakening and like really taking a look at how money is being thought of, and possibly having the opportunity to even challenge those perceptions when it's not serving, or when you find yourself going through the same cycles, even though you know that what you're doing when it comes to the money is not helpful, but you can't quite break it, right? And of course, we can talk about the body and health as well. The root exemplifies the physical aspect of our being, the body. The condition of our body, our body image, how we present ourselves, our physical health, even weight can be a direct correlation to the state of the root chakra. And it has more to do with you feeling like when you're healthy and you're fit and you're able to actually secure and care for yourself, or position yourself where you're able to provide for yourself. It has more to do with you being positioned to be able to offer that sense of care and survival for yourself. And so I feel like that's definitely correlated with the root chakra as well. And so in addition to that, I have some things here that kind of correspond with the first chakra, the root chakra. So animals that correspond with the root chakra would be like snake, elephant, a bull, or an ox. The archangels that would correlate with the root chakra would be the archangel Ariel or Michael. Of course, it is a direct correlation with the physical body. The color of the root chakra is red. The element is earth. Some foods, there's really no specific foods that would correlate with the root chakra. It's basically all foods would correlate with the root, but especially proteins, right? And if there was a gemstone or a crystal that would correlate, it would be like a ruby or a cinnabar, a bloodstone, a garnet, or other red toned stones. And let's see, ashwagandha was actually one of the herbs or the spices that correlated with the root chakra. So if you like teas, you could possibly make you some tea and add a little ashwagandha into it. And I feel like ashwagandha is also good I believe it's good for memory, I believe, and to kind of perk up your mental state. So you might be able to add a little bit of that in the morning, I believe, because I think it has an up factor to it. And if you're into like burning incense, it would be like something like cedar, right? And that makes sense because, and I'm directly relating that to the earth, like a tree. What other representation, better than a tree? So cedar would be a good incense to burn if you are tapping into that first chakra energy. Keywords would be words like security. I also believe like grounding would be a good word as well. And I think balancing would be a good word too. The root chakra would actually correlate to family members, including ancestors, okay? And then the metal would be like lead. Lead would be the metal. For the root chakra, the note that would represent the root chakra would be actually C major. C major actually represents the root chakra. And I've started a series where I am putting out meditation mantras where and it's accompanied with music, and I am going along with the note or the key that each of these chakras are in. And so the first one has been released, it's over there, the second one as well, but the root chakra meditation is on my page. It's in the series 7 for the meditation for awakening to root chakra. If you go over and check it out, it actually is in the key of C. There is a flower that's associated with the root chakra, and it is the lotus, the 4-petal lotus flower with the 4-sided square, right? Representing the grounded energy. And this is in correlation with the physical or the material plane. This is very grounding energy connecting to the physical plane. The ruling planet for the root chakra is Saturn and also Uranus as well. There is a seed sound, which we did chant in the in my meditation, and it was lam. It was the long ah with the lam, or you can do long. It's the open ah sound. And the smell is the sense that is correlated with the root chakra. So for those of you that could be into the actual senses, tapping into your senses and your intuition through your senses, this would be like your smell. And that's correlated with the nose. And of course, the shape is the square. And the tarot suit is pentacles. So this is related to actually money, materials, the physical plane. The verb tense for this is to have. It's to have. And the vowel or vibration is U. The letter U, but also like the word you. Or O, like in rope, but it's OH. So it's either the letter U or OH, like in U or O. And then the yoga path is actually the Hatha yoga. For those of you that may practice yoga, this might be a way to strengthen or open and get familiar with your root chakra with Hatha yoga. And then the zodiac signs associated with the root chakra is Capricorn and Aquarius. And so, yeah, so that pretty much sums up our root chakra. Just to give a little bit more information on how the root chakra is related overall to the body. Again, I did do a few meditations that I've already released to my 7-episode series on awakening. It's just a basic awakening or awareness around the chakras, 7 chakras, from the root all the way up to our crown. And I have 2 that's been released so far. They're over on my page under the series. You can actually check them both out. I did want to tap a little bit deeper into the root chakra, just so for those of you that are tapping into that series, that you would have a more understanding, a better understanding of what it is that we are doing as we explore the root chakra and how it actually relates, to the practical side of life as well. Because again, the root chakra is all about understanding that, yeah, we're spiritual beings, but we also live in this physical plane, which is very relevant, right? It would be nice to just go and fly off every minute of the day and not have to deal with reality. But the root chakra reminds us that we are also spiritual beings, and we also need to be responsible and just as tapped in to our spiritual world as we are to we need to be just as tapped into our physical world, as we are to our spiritual world. It really is a balance, right? And that's what the root chakra is all about. It's about bringing in that groundedness, keeping us attached, right? So that we're not so spiritually minded that we're no earthly good, right? And so with that being said, thank you for stopping by. I hope this gave a little bit more clarity around the importance of understanding the body more and how it functions and how we can help ourselves, in ways that would allow us to be our best self, I will probably do some more root chakra because I released that one last week, and I wanted to give more clarity around how the chakras are correlating with the functions of the body and how we are existing in the world, how it's tied to the root chakra. And so I hope you're enjoying, the series and all of the exploration around it. And so I may come back tomorrow or the next day just to give some more information on root chakra for those of you who are enjoying, the information. And so thank you for stopping by. My name is Letty, and this is the Root Chakra series and everything that is, coming along with that. And so I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Until my next video, I'll see you. Okay, bye.